Hi guys, Forgotten Wolf here, and this is part 6 of my Winds of Winter predictions covering Daenerys Targaryen and other major characters in our council like Tyrion and Barristan Selmy. And with that out of the way, let's begin. Very short intro, but yeah, let's get straight into it. It's going to be a long one. To start the video, I think it's fitting to cover Daenerys Targaryen. If you remember from the previous book, Daenerys was taken by the Dothraki, so the first chapter should cover Daenerys traveling to face Dothrak as her rage grows, being treated horribly, and unleashing her inner dragon. Although not a confirmed chapter, it's the most logical step to have for one chapter covering Daenerys' journey back to face Dothrak. Meanwhile, in Daenerys' city Meereen, Barristan Selmy and Tyrion Lannister are responsible for defending the city. In Barristan Selmy 1, it's the Battle of Fire Part 1, where the Greyjoys arrive to help defend the city under the command of Victarion Greyjoy. In Tyrion 1, Tyrion and a female dwarf, Penny, join the Second Sons under the command of Dario, and they keep defending the city. I don't know what to say. It's the Battle of Fire and a bunch of these earlier chapters, like Barristan 2, where he witnesses Victarion Greyjoy betray them as he tries to blow Dragonbinder to Drogon, or one of the other dragons, which burn him alive, and during the chaos, the battle, although winning for Daenerys and the Targaryen army, goes wrong as Barristan Selmy dies. That's my prediction for the first major death of the Winds of Winter, being Barristan. In Tyrion 2, the Battle of Fire is officially over, with the defense of Meereen and those ruling for Daenerys having won. The evil slave masters die in this chapter, and now the focus of Daenerys' small council have shifted to finding her. In Daenerys 2, after a long journey, Daenerys Targaryen has finally arrived at Vaes Dothrak, where she meets the Dothraki Khal there, maybe Khal Drogo, but either way, the Khal ruling there wants to sleep with Daenerys, but she reveals her identity as Khal Drogo's widow, and this has Daenerys taken prisoner as the Dosh Khaleen instead of the Khal sleeping with her, as she also waits judgment. Moving back to Meereen, it's Tyrion Lannister 3, where it deals with the aftermath of the Battle of Fire with the Slave Master's death. Daenerys' loyal counselors, such as Jorah, Tyrion, and Grey Worm, take full control from Isdar, even though he's already kind of in prison. They have full control back over the city again. Together, they agreed to send a scouting mission with Dario, Jorah, and a few other soldiers to go on a mission to find Daenerys. Either way, in Tyrion Lannister 3, all the Hisdar supporters and those that left to support him are done. They can't support him now, but he's still a prisoner. This leads into Daenerys 3, where she meets the Dosh Khaleen. It's very similar to how they interacted with them in the show, and Daenerys maintains that she is not one of them, and saying she will escape, but the rest of the Khaleesi's among the Dosh Khaleen say she's stupid and in denial, saying, yeah, it's the best thing for her to stay with them. This is kind of intertwined with Tyrion 4, where Dario and Jorah leave and Hisdar is executed. With Hisdar's death, he's by far one of the most likely characters to die in Winds of Winter, as Jon and Daenerys are guaranteed to meet in the Dream of Spring, which means Hisdar needs to be out of the picture. And I think Hisdar will die either in the Battle of Fire or be executed by Daenerys' small council after the Battle of Fire. And with nobody to support him, he will definitely die, as Daenerys' small council doesn't like him already. Either way, most of the chapters in this video are going to be in the earlier parts of Winds of Winter, so George R. R. Martin can skip directly to Jorah and Dario finding Daenerys and Daenerys 4. No, we don't get to see Dario, Jorah, and the others find Dany, as George confirmed. There'll be no more POV chapters in the Winds of Winter. Before leaving Vaes Dothrak, Daenerys does tell the two of them that she has one last thing to do, leading into Daenerys 5. In Daenerys Targaryen 5, I don't know why I said Targaryen, it's a recreation of Daenerys walking out of the fire, like in the TV show. This might seem a little weird, but I do believe Daenerys will have the Dothraki like in the show. Otherwise, there's zero point in bringing her back to Vaes Dothrak and introducing the Dothraki at all if Daenerys doesn't have them in the end. Either way, at the end of this chapter, Daenerys has the support of the Dothraki and is on her way back to Meereen. In Tyrion 5, it covers Daenerys' return to Meereen, and Tyrion tells her that Barristan and Hisdar's deaths, making him free to marry. We get a proper meeting between Tyrion and Daenerys, very much representative of Aegon and Tyrion's meeting. There's a bit of a gap between Daenerys 4 and 5 and Tyrion 5, but yeah, but that's meant to imply a passage of time, so they can travel and focus on other chapters. In Daenerys 6, where upon returning to Meereen, the Conqueror Daenerys is back and she leaves Meereen to go to Westeros, although Tyrion convinces her to stop at Braavos to get the Iron Bank on her side, as Tyrion proves how the Iron Bank is helpful, as that was part of the reason why the Lannisters won the War of the Five Kings, or it from how Tyrion presents it. After this conversation, Daenerys tells Daario that he will stay in order to maintain security in Meereen, as like his arc, Daario needs to be out of the picture because he's the love interest for Daenerys, with a role which will be occupied by Jon Snow in A Dream of Spring. In Tyrion 6, we skip the journey to Braavos and the arrival. We skip the arrival at Braavos and the Iron Bank in order to just see Daenerys and Tyrion negotiating with the Iron Bank, and Tyrion points out that since young Griff has taken the throne and Stannis is dead, they are yet to get their money back. And when the Iron Bank questions how they are different, Tyrion says they had their money back when the Targaryens were in charge, and Daenerys is in fact a Targaryen. I know, shocking. This gets the Iron Bank to fund Daenerys with some more sellsword groups, and Tyrion's actions will be very important later. In Daenerys 7, it'll basically it'll be how I predicted it in Greyjoy's video, but I'll restate it here. Basically, it's this scene from Game of Thrones.
We ask you to give them back.
And that's all. We'd like you to help us murder an uncle or two who don't think a woman's fit to rule. Reasonable?
What if everyone starts demanding their independence?
She's not demanding, she's asking. The others are free to ask as well. All men. All of us here. They'll leave the world better than we found it. And respect the integrity of the Seven Kingdoms. No more reaving, roving.
You get the gist of it. I skipped a few parts there, but you get what scene I'm talking about. I said this chapter would take place in Meereen Pentos last time, but I've changed my mind to be Braavos. You get the point. You guys get the point here. This leads into Daenerys 8, where like in my Greyjoy's video, it's the same here. Daenerys, Tyrion, Asha, Theon, all the sellsword groups supporting Daenerys, Grey Worm, and the Unsullied Dothraki all leave for Dragonstone. Remember Tyrion's actions back in his 6th chapter? This pays off in Tyrion 7, where Daenerys is finally convinced to name Tyrion to the title of Hand of the Queen. And saying to take Westeros, she'll need a hand to help her take the Iron Throne as the final Tyrion chapter in the Winds of Winter. In Daenerys 9, we get to see Daenerys arrive finally back in Westeros. What, did you think I wasn't going to include that in this video? Of course not. Daenerys was going to take back Dragonstone since Stannis is dead by this point, and Mace Tyrell is also dead. And we have waited so long for this, and we finally get to see it, where in Daenerys 10, it's the very last chapter of the book, excluding the epilogue, which I'll say in a little bit. We get to see Daenerys crowned Queen of the Seven Kingdoms with a crown that represents Aegon the Conqueror, and her crowning is meant to directly resemble Jon's crowning from the very previous chapter in part 1. Alright, and that finally should do it for my Winds of Winter predictions. And unless there's anyone else... What's that noise? Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, finale coming May.